Welcome back, everybody, to Grand Tactician, the Civil War. I'm Grumpy Grandpa Gaming, and this is episode 10 of our Union Summer 61 campaign in version 1.11 using the A.O.M Mod. Now, in last episode, we did have the Battle of Fourth Wheeling, with General Ord and his 2nd U.S. Volunteer Army and his 4th Corps seeing off the Army of Alabama, J.W. Parker's Corps of the Army of Northern Virginia, Loring's Corps of the Army of Northern Virginia, Army of the Shenandoah, Army of Tennessee, Army of the Peninsula, and Army of Central Kentucky, all under command of Robert E. Lee. I believe that is the 2nd time he has seen them off. We fought him at the 3rd Battle of Wheeling also. Now, on top of that, we did have the failed siege at Fort Morgan. 1st Corps U.S. Army is back on its way to re-engage with that siege. 2nd Corps did win the siege of Fort Brooke and is right now on its way up to Melonville, Florida. Once it's there, he's about halfway yellow, probably down the orange by the time he's there. I'm going to let him wait until he gets in the green again, and then I'll send him north to Jacksonville. And we'll slowly work him back way to his army command over here outside of Mobile. And we do have supply issues here in Mobile. So 10th Corps is out of food. So the men are panicked. Their morale is at 13%. So I gotta hope that we can get a supply depot built in time for them. So towards the end of last episode, we did go back up to BB+, so I was just able to drop a supply depot. So hopefully that will be constructed soon, and we'll be able to more readily supply the Corps. What I really need to do is get rid of these fleets here, but I got no river-going craft in this river. So that's going to have to wait. But I need this supply depot built, these guys fed, before Wither's Corps of Stuart's army decides to come back at them again. Even though we do outnumber that Corps by a fair margin, morale is so low in this army that even if I was able to get us onto the campaign map to fight, the men would basically break at the first shots. And we also had money issues, big money issues. So we are well exceeding every month what we are bringing in and cutting bonds like crazy, which is also hurting us because we do have to pay interest on those bonds every month. It's not showing what it is right now. Don't know why. I gotta let the game run a week. We'll see. But in order to start saving money, I was talking about disbanding 5th Army and its corps out west. And then someone brought out something. It was I Take It Good. Commented, and it was something that I should have thought of and just didn't, was I should disband most of the units in Tradoc, which was a very good idea. So I didn't think about going after Tradoc for troop reductions, as Tradoc is kind of a sideshow in my head, as I only dip into it as I need forces. And I did have plans for the forces that were not everything that was in there, but for a good chunk of the forces that were in there, I did have some plans for. But he was right, and I disbanded all those units minus what I need for 11th Corps. So you can see this is a much, much reduced layout here. I got the brigades for the infantry of 11th Corps, not fully divisioned out. Division of artillery for them, support battery sort of divisions, and a division of cavalry. So everything else has been disbanded. So I doubt it's going to equal the cost of what we need to reduce, but it should put us a good chunk of the way there. And it actually freed up some very good weapons for the rest of my corps. I didn't realize some of those units were sitting on such good weapons. I mean, there's a lot of Sharps carbines and James rifles in those batteries. So we got some good toys freed up. And I'm going to have to go through and distribute all those. So right now we're just going to hold the course and sit steady. And I doubt there will be another combat in July, but I could be wrong. But one thing I did want to point out is, before I forget, the AI has gotten a lot better at putting together its corps and armies. So the Army of Northern Virginia, like 2 of its corps are over here. But the Army of Northern Virginia itself has 128,000 men in it, with 300 guns. It's carrying 2,200 casualties from the Battle of Fort Wheeling, where it had 2 corps involved. I don't know how involved they were in the fighting, but they weren't involved. But all these corps are fairly large. You got Gist's Corps, 20,000 men. Smith's Corps, another 12,000. Bragg's Corps is going up to at 36,000. You got 2 corps. Loring is one of them. I just lost him. Porter's Corps, another 11,000. Loring's, it just gave me Loring's. See, we can't get that back. No. Alright. So, but I'm not so worried about it. If they actually consolidate, if they bring both those corps over and consolidate with the Army of Northern Virginia and make a push north, it'll be a pretty epic battle, considering how large the Army of Northern Virginia is. But 1st Army, U.S. Volunteers, is 141,052 men. So this would be a pretty epic fight if the AI consolidates the Army of Northern Virginia. And that's a fight I'd like to see, but not this campaign season. I do want to continue my plans for the Gulf and the Mississippi River, but this is just roadblocking me right now. I thought I'd be clear of Mobile and besieging the forts outside of New Orleans right now, but I am not doing that. So plans are not going as they should. And Navy-wise, the Confederates, French is now in charge, their General Chief of Staff. Okay, I really don't understand how the AI picks who the commanding general of the armies is. I really don't. So, but they now have 143,000 tons of ships out in the water to my 115,000 tons. So, but I think they've mostly built river-going craft for the most part. So I'm not so worried about it. And that's another reason I need to start saving up money, is I do want to start building the river monitors, not the monitor class, but the river monitor class, which is the double turret design, because it's good for both ocean and river, so I can transfer them around as necessary and very easily, as long as I keep them to the coasts. So you can clear out all, like I need this cleared out to alleviate these supply issues. So I have a feeling I'm always going to have supply issues here if I do not get these fleets gone. Alright, I think that covers everything. So, I'll be back when something happens. Alright, it's July 19th in game, and we have picked ourselves up a naval engagement here, and it is not going well for us. At all. See, I thought the Confederates were building a lot of river-going craft, but they've been pumping out steam frigates, it looks like. And they are disabling the hell out of mine. So, I've lost 3 ships sunk so far. 3 more disabled. The Jamestown and the Savannah are both still fighting. They're regular frigates. So, shows us as having more firepower available than them, but I don't know. Will we pull this one off? Alright, if they pull off, we'll capture one of their 4th rates. That doesn't really do us much good. I'd like to capture one of these. But so we've got 2 barks disabled, a 3rd rate disabled. And we have lost the CSS Sampson, the Daylight, and the Wanderer. Sampson and Daylight are both 4th rates, and the Wanderer looks like a brig. Alright, looks like we won this engagement. There was a second one? Well, let's look at both of these. Okay, this is the one we were just looking at. So we captured 2 of their ships, but lost 3 of ours to sinking. It looks like they re-engaged us a second time. Yeah, same squadron re-engaged us a second time. Looks like we sank one of their ships and captured 1 more. So not all of our ships were involved. Yet looks like we captured the Huntress. So let's send you back to port. It looks like the Pamlico, which is a cotton-clad ram, which we've captured. Looks like she's good to go, so I'll put her in the fleet. He can command up to 27 ships, so he can command quite a bit. Let's take the flag out. She's down to 2%. The Dale should be going back to port, but it doesn't look like it. The Bloomer's at 0%, but somehow still afloat. Let's send that one back. And the USS Supply is at 6%. We'll send that back. And the Willow. Those 2 ships were disabled in the fighting, so we'll send them home to port. I have a feeling I'm going to need more ships in this squadron, so as soon as these ships get ready to go again, they will be sent back out. So, otherwise, it's been quiet. Like I said in the last episode, I think we both kind of spent ourselves into inaction. Supply depot's almost built. His morale's now broken. It's at 6%. I think once we have that supply depot built, that should fix that problem. How's the siege going? About 50-50. This hasn't moved since the start of the siege at the beginning of the month. It says 47% chance of victory. We should have a higher chance than that, considering we got Siege Train 1 about to be Siege Train 2, and we're supposed to get a 5% boost from the Balloon Corps, but it's not showing up on the perks that we have over here. But if he starts going down into yellow readiness, I'm just going to have him assault the fort. Alright, that should cover everything. It looks like we may not have anything until the end of the month, and I'll be coming back with the August monthlies, and hopefully we saved ourselves up some money. We'll see. Alright, it's July 22nd. We did have ourselves another naval engagement with the 2nd Savannah Squadron, where we have captured 2 of their ships. And that was done by the 3rd Atlantic Blockading Squadron, who had given orders to go report as the readiness is down in the red. And we're due to Key West. There you go. For some reason, he keeps going over here to Tampa, but Key West is a bigger port, so I'd rather send them there, and they can go sun in the Keys. Let's see what ships we captured. The Calypso and the Camellia, both 4th rates. We really need those. So, alright. Just a little update there. A lot more naval action than I expected in this campaign. Alright, it is now August 1st. Month of July was fairly quiet. Extremely quiet, except for those 2 engagements off the coast of the Carolinas. Nothing's been happening. Like I said, I think we have both spent ourselves into oblivion. We're still sitting at BBB minus, though. I think I figured out why. So current rating of our nation is BB minus, which is mediocre. Our debt increased by 25 million. We did cut another bond, but only 1 bond this time. Usually we have been cutting 2 to 3 bonds a month. We only cut 1 bond for July, which is very good. It means we're getting some things under control now. Current economy cycle is recovery. Our tax revenues increased by 19 million. We didn't construct any buildings except for a supply depot, so I don't know why it doesn't say that. Total export volume last month was 637 out, 1.8 coming in. Average core production over the last 3 months was 608 million, a change of negative 38 million. And, you know, lacking food, iron, forage. Coming up to alerts. All the same stuff. The list is a little shorter. Crop production is starting to come up towards demand. So as spring has moved into summer, we've been getting more crops out of the fields. That's a very good thing. Flour production is still way down, though. Going to have to build another mill somewhere. So flour production is at 90.4 versus demand of 1.3 million. So we do have to fix that. Leather production's down, but that's always down. Doesn't matter whether you're playing the north or the south. Leather's always an issue. Livestock, not so far off of demand. Nider's not too bad. Plantations are doing pretty well, and we're only about 30,000 off where we need to be. Salt production, I figured it'd be higher. We got most of the salt production for U.S. is in the north, so I figured that would be better. We got no sugar production. I figured wool production would be higher. And cotton production, obviously, we don't control the cotton plantations, so. And steel production is actually not too far away from where we need it. And small arms ammunition production is 700 off of what we actually need. So that's actually really good, and it's not even showing artillery ammunition on there. So things are starting to level out. So hopefully the month of August going into September, we'll see some evening out on the funding. If I come over here to finances, we still spent 367 million more than we took in. We've knocked Army upkeep down to 575 million. I feel like that's gone back up again. I thought it was lower. I gotta write that down. So hopefully we have enough money saved up to take another subsidy on the logistics. Because previously, before we took the last subsidy, it was at 643 million monthly for the Army. After the third subsidy funding, it was brought down. I think it was lower than that. I'm not sure. Navy upkeep's at 169. Recruitment's at 157. Supply depots are down to 58 million now. So the supply depots have gotten cheaper. Even with the new one I had built. You come over here, like, I didn't realize this, but economy funding's all the way up to 25 million. So we're going to knock that down to 5 million a year. Agriculture, I want to keep at 5 million until we take the next farm mechanization level, which is probably still a few months away. Industry is at 25 million. We don't need it that high. We did pop off on Industry 2. So we can drop this back down to 5 million. Military is at 25 million. We don't need the subsidies as much as we did. So I'm going to knock this down to 10 million and see where that puts us. 9.99 works for me. I'm going to leave politics where it is, as I do want some of the things that we get for projects out of it. We're having intelligence. So they're still having a recruitment issue, which is good. They put a lot of men in the field. I think the AI has taken every man available and thrown them into the field. And real early, it's only August 1st of 1862. The fact they're out of men already speaks volumes. Their relations with Great Britain is still at 52%. Recruited 250 men in one brigade, so that's an artillery battery. They started building 4 more ships. Oh, Lord. The morale of Confederate armies is at 92%, a change in -6 after the last battle. And it looks like John McCausland is KIA, so he probably died at Fort Wheeling. Coming up to strategy. Our national morale is at 93, theirs is at 80. Their national support's actually, my national support's at 79, theirs is at 87. Usually their morale and support's way, way higher than mine, but it is not right now. Morale of their armies, theirs is higher, but most of my armies are in the deep south right now, so that's going to affect everything on the morale. We have 393,406 men in the field today, 319,207. I thought that'd be lower after disbanding all those units that I did disband. So, by September, if the funding is still high, I'm probably going to go through each corps. And every corps with a 4th division, I'm going to reduce to 2 brigades from the 3 brigades. And if that doesn't cut funding enough, I will probably disband those divisions completely, except for the 10th Corps 4th Division, which I think might be the 1st Division of 11th Corps, since I don't have enough viewer units for... I might have enough for 3 divisions. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. I got to look at that again. Navy tonnage, we're up to 115,000 because of those captured ships. They're at 142,590. Military experience is even. Casualties wise, we've taken 14,826 casualties. They've taken 43,465. So, shows this is evenly matched still, which is good. We don't need this game ending way too soon. Why the hell did that just happen? So, siege down here at Fort Morgan is still ongoing. It is slightly moved into our favor. Shows us now a 54% chance of victory. So we do have Siege Train 2 now. You figured this would move that along faster, but this would be I want to say when it comes to the coastal fortifications of the U.S., there were 5 building periods, and I think this is a 3rd period fortification, so it's very, very strong. So that would definitely, I believe that would be the 3rd period of building. I gotta look back into that. And thankfully, with the construction of the supply depot for 10th Corps, their morale is now coming back up. So they're unstable now, but they're up 25% morale, where they were down at 9.6. They're now back up to 25%. So I'm hoping by the end of August, I can get these troops in motion again. I need to knock out this corps to their south, over here, Withers Corps. It's only 16,000 men. But Stuart's got an army of 39,000, but his other corps is over here somewhere. I think Van Dorn's part of his army. No, that's Army of Pensacola. What about Atchison? Army of Pensacola. Where is his other corps? Alright, there's a missing corps here somewhere. We gotta find that. But I need these guys away from my southern position so I can keep pushing onto New Orleans. We really should have been there by now, or at least on the outskirts of it. So we need to get in there sooner rather than later. So once we have him pushed off and I have 10th Corps on the move, I will begin fielding 11th Corps. And now we're doing over here at 2nd Corps. Alright, he's up in the green again, but he is out of food also. There's not much we can provide here in Central Florida. So, let's see if we can get him up into Jacksonville. 88 hours to get those orders, that's fine. So let's see if we can't draw supplies out of Jacksonville. Hopefully capture Fernandina while we're up there without having to take Fort Clinch, so that we can get them provisions. Because I can't have him go after Fort Clinch if he does not have food. The siege will not last long. And I really do not want to build another supply depot. I hope his corps is small enough where Jacksonville, even though it's a level 1 city, between Jacksonville and Puerto Fernandina, that we can supply him. Let's take a look up north here. Everything's still quiet. Indian army's never moved. West Tennessee is still sitting down here. I think they're just, Confederacy's kind of like me, leaving screening corps in place. Yeah, these are all like 8,000 man corps out here. All their strength right now is here in Northern Virginia, Western Virginia, and down in the Gulf region where my strength is. So if that holds true through the winter going into the 63 campaign season, I will be sending out those smaller corps for limited operations, see if we can't draw off some of these forces out of the Gulf into Virginia theater. I don't want to press too hard. But, so I want to keep this campaign interesting. I do want to complete taking down the Mississippi River. Because I've never completed that campaign objective of splitting the Confederacy in half. I don't think I've seen anybody else do it. If someone's seen it, if someone's seen another YouTuber do it in one of their playthroughs, please direct me to that playthrough. I'd love to watch it. So, I should cover everything. I'll be back when something else happens. You know what? There's one thing I did not cover, and that is projects and policies. So policies, we did pop off on Industrialization 2, and we are now working on Industrialization 3. After I do this, I might pop off on print notes. I'm not too sure yet. I really don't want to. And with projects, we got a few assignable here. But one I want to take, and maybe I should have not reduced the funding, is I want to take improve credit rating. And it costs a lot of money. It costs $13 million to fund that. But taking improved credit rating will increase. It only gives us one increase. Okay, I don't want that then. If I'm going to spend $13 million on increasing my credit rating, I'd rather not. Because that's not even paying off debt or interest. So I don't know if that'll actually pay off some of the interest that we owe or some of the debt that we owe. You know, yeah, I will keep saving up. I'm going to take that because I've never taken it before, so I don't know what type of effect it will have. But over here in military, we basically have everything that we need now. So the funding that's sitting here is just kind of going to waste. So what I'm going to do is, we'll take cavalry reform. Don't really need it, all right? I thought that would leave us enough money for cavalry reform too. But with the way money is right now, I'm not going to be recruiting any horse artillery batteries. As much as I want to add one battery to each of my cavalry divisions, doesn't look like I will be doing that. Industry-wise, we got subsidized industry and infrastructure reform. So I got 2 levels of infrastructure reform, so I guess we'll take one more level of subsidized industry. I don't need weapons production anymore. My standardization on the Springfield rifles is actually so high that a 10,000 stand takes less than 25 days to come in now. So just the Sharps rifles and carbines and the Parrots are taking a while, but the standardization is getting up there too, especially with the Parrots. I guess we'll take another level of... I haven't constructed any railroads. I don't have the money for it. No, we'll continue banking this up because I want to take another level of occupation administration, which is supposed to give us plus 9% support in occupied states. And once we hold Jacksonville... So support in Florida right now is at 4%, but once we hold Jacksonville, because we hold Pensacola, which is the only other big city to hold in the state, except for Tallahassee. I think we have to capture Tallahassee also. Yeah. But that should be easily accomplished because the Army of Pensacola is not that strong. A little higher numbers than 2nd Corps, but I think 2nd Corps can get the job done. As long as we fight smartly, we should be able to do it. But we should be taking Florida, so I want to see if we can get occupation administration high enough to where we can flip states. Or at least get the support high enough to where we can safely recruit soldiers out of it, though Florida never provides much in the way of manpower. Though having the support would be good because it should give us better supply and bring national morale up too. Controlling territory with low support affects your national morale. It also affects your how fast you can research stuff. So low national support gives you low research also. So it's something to keep in mind when you're taking over enemy territory. I learned that one the hard way in the last campaign. Alright, that should now cover everything, so I'll be back. Alrighty, it's August 15th, and 10th Corps is now back up to 61% morale. It's not going to get much higher than that. It doesn't go up to 80%, but I think 60 is fine by me. And we're going to start moving south to take on Stuart's army. And both his corps are here. You really can't see it, but there is a second card underneath Wither's corps, and that's Lovell's corps. I just got it to show up. So they have 40,000 men. Approximately, we have 42,000 approximately, so it should be another even-on fight down here in the Mobile region, or the Mobile region. So it's at 61.9. Let's see if we can't pump that up a little bit more here. Days roll over a little bit. 66.3. 67. And Fort Morgan just fell. Awesome. Perfect. Wait, second Corps withdrawing? Army Pensacola showed up, but where's second Corps? Where'd they go? Really? Really? Oh, he's got no ammunition, no food. Alright, I gotta build a supply depot for him. But building it at the end of this road is not a good location, but we're at BB plus, so I can build one. There we go. 1.9 million. Hope I don't cut another bond. We haven't cut a single bond yet this month, so hopefully that doesn't force us to cut one. Alright, 10th Corps. Oh, got another perk here. So, BMI for 6th Army. Alright, 10th Corps. Time to put you back in action. So, I'll be back once this combat kicks off. Alrighty, it's August 27th, and 2nd Corps is withdrawing again. So I just wasted money building the supply depot. So the Army of Pensacola, even though I outnumbered them, I have 15,000 men and 81 guns. Against Van Dorn's 7,500 men and 60 guns. My corps keeps withdrawing because his morale is broken. It's down to 0.2%, so I'm surprised he hasn't disintegrated yet. So the lack of food is really, really hurting me right now. So he is retreating towards Tampa Port. I'm hoping they do not follow again. I'm going to have to try and build another depot for him. So things aren't looking good in Florida for 2nd Corps. I thought this would be a cakewalk coming through Florida, but with his morale being as bad as it is, there's just nothing I can do about it. It's really the lack of food that's doing it to him. So, yeah, that's minus 19.2% of his morale right there. Condition of his troops is bad, so it's another minus 15.9. The condition is bad because there's no food. So, things are not looking good here. And I can't believe he has no ammunition. He hasn't done, outside of the siege of Fort Brooke, which did not last that long, he should have ammunition, so I don't know where it's all gone. And I pulled Pope back to Pensacola in order to get his readiness back up and resupply. And I'm trying to get 10th Corps into range of engaging these 2 corps here, but if you look here, they're actually out on the island here. So you see my radius ends at the edge here of the mouth of the river. So I can't even get across to them, probably because of these fleets that are sitting here in the river. I can't engage these men. So I'm ordering Thomas over to Mississippi City in preparation for him to move against Fort Pike so that we can get that much closer to New Orleans. And I'm going to start raising up 11th Corps in Mobile, just in case these guys decide to come across the river. They'll have me outnumbered, but 10th Corps will be in range to support 11th Corps, and vice versa. And I may have to shift 1st Corps back east into Florida towards Tallahassee to help deal with the Army of Pensacola, since they've retaken Jacksonville. Excuse me. Mostly got rid of the cold, just a few scratches at the back of the throat yet. So, yeah. Once 1st Corps is back up full readiness, get some more ammunition into them. What is that, another 13 days? I don't think I'll wait that long. I'm going to move them into Tallahassee. And I'm going to start bringing down the Engineer Corps, which I did move over to New York City, or Abscom here, over in Jersey. And we are going to bring them down south to start building some fortifications. And build us some telegraph lines down here also. So I'm going to start making these moves happen, and I'll be back. Alrighty, just bring you all back in here real fast, since I have now formed the 11th Corps. And we had just enough viewer units to make it a 3 infantry division corps. So, Sherman is the corps commander. It was a choice between Sherman, Hurlbut, and Hancock, because they all had the same amount of command stars. Sherman won out. Hurlbut was knocked out because he's a political officer. And it became down to Sherman and Hancock, and Sherman had one more level of fame than Hancock did, since they were both made. They both had a brigadier general on the same date, so it came down to Sherman just having one more fame star, so he got the command. Ayers is in command of the 1st Division, which includes the Allen Rifles, the U.S. Marine Corps Regiment, John's Rangers, and the 1st Maine Light Artillery Battery. So I broke up the Maine Light Artillery Regiment into the 3 supporting batteries. There's 1 battery left from the regiment, which I left as a placeholder in TRADOC. 2nd Division is led by William Terrell. They have Washington's 1st, the New York City Rats, and the 1st East Surreys. And they have the 2nd Maine Light Artillery Battery as their fill-out. 3rd Division is commanded by Grenville Dodge, who was the commander of the 1st Iowa Infantry. So Worthington now has command of the 1st Iowa Infantry. Dodge is now 3rd Division commander for 11th Corps. I had to go through a lot, just to let you all know, I spent about an hour going through every brigade commander. And my minimum requirement is 8 stars, and the list is just too exhaustive to bring up. So, but there were, Tidbell was an 11, everybody else is a 10 that got a division command. except for Starkweather, because he already commanded this division here, and Kelly. These two units existed already, so I just left the commanders in place. So 3rd Division has Legion of the Seafolk, Worms and his warriors, and the worst officer alive with the white PJs, and 3rd Main Light Artillery is their battery. The artillery division is actually the entirety of the 1st Massachusetts Artillery Battalion, 1st through 5th batteries. And the cavalry division is actually the 2nd New York Cavalry Battalion, but it's a divisional strength, so I just renamed it from battalion to division. That's got the 2nd, 5th, and 6th New York. All right. That should cover everything now. So 11th Corps is in the field. I didn't even see how long it's going to take for these units to transfer in. Looking at about a full month, 31 days for the entirety of this force to be in position. So hopefully we'll be moving on to New Orleans at that point, and they'll just be screening these 2 corps down here. So looks like it's been quiet so far, so it looks like I will probably be back with the September monthlies. Alrighty, it's August 30th, and 2nd Corps is withdrawing again. And I wasted more money trying to build them another supply depot. So they withdrawn back to Fort Brooke. I placed them on defensive orders, hoping that this would become a siege. Because even with low morale, this being a siege army, it should easily win it. But their morale is completely broken. It's at 0.6%. Van Pelt is recovered. I didn't even know he was wounded. Who was he in command of? Lieutenant. Probably one of the besieging batteries with 1st Corps, 2nd Corps. So Van Dorn's Corps is now besieging Fort Brooke. I'll probably end up losing that one. But 2nd Corps is withdrawing all the way back up this way and around towards Newmansville. Because the AI did not stop to recapture Jacksonville. That is still in our control. And I have ordered 1st Corps. How did Atchinson's Corps get here? Atchison was way up here. He was outside of Montgomery. How the hell did he get down here so fast? Really? So it looks like we might have an action here in Florida. So 1st Army Headquarters is in Tallahassee. 1st Corps is on its way there to take it. And that'll give us all 3 cities in Florida. So, and it won't put 2nd Corps in range of Army Headquarters, but it'll get them close. And it looks like Atchison might be withdrawing in the face of 1st Corps, because he's about half the strength. We'll see how this plays out. I think Florida might be an interesting location for the next few episodes. But 10th Corps has moved on. I did have them at Mississippi City. They are now besieging Fort Pike, and it is heavily in our favor. Well, it says 45% up here, but down here it's way in our favor, so this and that don't match. Come on. Usually I'll give you a victory chance with this one also, but it shows us balance of power of 84 to 16, so we should win that handily. Alright, so 1st Army is withdrawing away from that corps. That's fine. The 1st Corps should have been drawn into a fight. I'm starting to lose faith in my regulars. But it will bring everybody closer together, which is a good thing. But I am losing faith in my regulars. Hopefully, Stuart's army does not come out to play until Stuart's Corps is formed up. 1st brigades won't be arriving for 14 days, and no one else again for another 25 days after that. So hopefully we'll have the siege of Fort Pike done before Stuart decides to play with us. And alright, about to go into midnight, so it's time for the September monthlies. There they are. Let's take a look at this now. So we did cut one more bond, which isn't bad. Just like last month, we cut one bond. So we are getting our expenditures under control. Current rating of our nation is BB+. Our debt increased by another 25 million, which is the extra bond. So our liabilities is 730 million. We need to start paying that off. Because the interest payments alone are per year are hitting around 50 million. So we need to start reducing that. Current economy cycle is recovery. Our tax revenues did decrease by 16 million. I don't understand why. Total export volume last month was 695 million at 2.1 billion coming in. So that should have raised I should have brought in more money in tariffs, because we're now over 2 billion on imports. Average core production over the last 3 months was 572. So our production keeps dropping. I'm not really understanding why. Economy alerts. Damn, that list just doubled. That list is doubled. Crops dropped down to 3.3 thousand. Where it was catching up to demand, it has now dropped to 3.3 thousand. Flour production never caught up. Leather production is off as always. Something's wrong here because it's showing my niter, rice, salt, and sugar at 0 when I was producing it. Rice was meeting demand. So that doesn't make any sense. We should have no problem with fish production with the amount of ports that we do own. I'm not producing. What's going on with my mines? None of my mines are producing. What is going on with that? Even wood production is down, and that was well within demand levels. We're not producing ships, so we're not sucking up timber. Something's going on there. Is there a strike or something going on I'm unaware of? Or a raid? I don't see anything burning. There's no raids going on. Something's screwing the financial world. Well, you can see here, we are getting our expenditures under control. So we spent 133 million more than we brought in this month. That's down from the almost 400 million over that we were spending. So we have dropped that considerably. I did pump the military subsidies back up because I just totally forgot that logistics reform relies on military subsidies. So I do need to I need to pump more money into that to do logistics reform. So everything else I did keep down low. So we're slowly getting it under control. Army upkeep's at 438 million. That's down. What did I do with that note? Okay, I think I might have crumpled up that note and threw it out, but I think that was over 500 million, so this has come down considerably since disbanding all those units in Tradoc. So that was very helpful for us. We're still overexpending, but not badly at all. So I'm very happy with that. Let's look at intelligence now. Alright, so Confederates are now working on King Cotton 3, which should put them over the line for drawing the British and French into the war, but I'm not sure. I don't know if they'll be able to do it without having done the support French invasion of Mexico policy. So their relations are still at 52%, but there are projects they can take to bump that up also. It looks like they recruited another battery and another 2 ships are being built. Alright, nothing else has really changed. We go to strategy. So their national morale is now down to 79. But their national support's still at 87 compared to our 79. Once again, the morale of their armies is higher, but we are operating in their territory and not vice versa. We have 370,000 men in the field now to their 311,000. It's called 312,000. Naval tons are up to 145,000 tons of Navy. Oof. And casualties really haven't shifted because nothing's happened. There's been no combats. This is the quietest spring and summer I've ever had. So maybe we'll get something over here with Atchison's Corps. They fell back in the face of First Corps, but maybe we'll get something there. Alright, policies. Still working on Industrialization 3. That should be complete in 8.7 days. And I think I've made the decision I am going to do print notes just to get that extra funding. Hopefully it will help alleviate some issues. It may not. I've never actually used print notes before. So it's an extra $60 million a year, but lowers public wealth by 10%. But I don't think that'll be that large of a hit on us. All right, projects. What we got available here? Occupation Administration. I'll take another point of this after we have secured Tallahassee. And I'm still waiting on. Should I subsidize agriculture? No, I'm going to wait one. I'll hold off on this. I want one more level of that farm mechanization because I think that's a very, very powerful. So just farm mechanization 1 does crops production plus 7.5%. So it should bring us almost to. Should be at 15% increase in crop production after taking the second level of it. So I want to hold off until we get that. And like I said, I had to pump more money into the military subsidies in order to get the logistics reform, another level of that. So, yeah, we need 5.2 million funding. We got 2.3 million funding. Taking the cavalry reform kind of put me off from getting this. I should have had this popped off already. All right. I think that covers everything. So, maybe we'll have another combat here in Florida, maybe not. I don't know. If we go another month without anything happening, I will end it there and call this an administration episode because we'll be moving into the winter, so you might have 2 administration episodes in a row. I don't know. I'll be back. Alright, it's still September 1st, and First Corps has caught up to, says unknown unit, but this is Atchison's Corps. Yep, there it says Atchison's Corps, Army of Pensacola. So, looks like we got a battle here outside of Tallahassee. So, John Pope against David Atchison. So, I'll be back after the load screen. Welcome to the Battle of Blountsville, Ferry. And why, oh why, can I not get the Olustee map in Florida? Somebody please tell me. We're in range. This battle should be in range of the Olustee map. But we're getting the Willow Garden map or the Big Rock Mountain map, whichever name you want to get it. That is so disappointing. So, we heavily outnumber Atchison's Corps. He only has about 7,500 men. Whereas we got 15, 16,000. Yeah, I got 18,357 to 7,500, and he has only infantry. And he's coming in from down here, and we were actually defending. Even though we were attacking, we actually have the defense. So I'm not going to defend. I'm not going to wait for him back here. I'm going to move us all the way forward into Willow Garden. and set up my troops here along this edge of the woods here, catch them coming down the road. Hopefully, maybe. Because I just don't want to wait for him back here. Because if I wait for him back here, he can march up this way or come around. It'll just take forever to figure out where he is. So, I'll get my troops set up, get them down here to Willow Garden. Hopefully get them in position to catch them out here on the road. So, I'll be back. Alright, it's 12:35 in game. I was trying to get my divisions up to this hillside here, but you can already hear and see industrial here from the Confederates. There's only 7,500 of them, so I'm not worried about it. So I have 1st and 2nd divisions moving up to this fence line and this post rail fence line and this stone wall here. I got the 2 sharpshooter brigades double timing into position. That's the 1st and 2nd U.S. sharpshooters. Cavalry division I did have going out to this flank just in case they decide to take that road, but they are not now, so I'm going to reorder them to swing back up this way. And we'll catch these boys as they are retreating. They're already coming into sight. Toombs Brigade, 1,900 men. There should only be 3 or 4 brigades in this army. Alright guys, clear the road jam. These guys have double time orders, but they're stuck on the road. My artillery rank. Notice I got a very large artillery division in this corps. Both the regular army corps are very large artillery divisions. And they both each have 1 battery of 25-pound Parrots and 30-pound Parrots. Most of the corps are going to end up with 1 battery each of those, if I can afford it. And produce the weapons. So, all the divisional artillery are 10-pound Parrots, plus a battery of 25s, a battery of 20s, and a battery of 30s. So, pretty damn strong. As you can see, even from back there, they're ranged out to here. So they can fire over the heads of the infantry pretty easily. Clear the damn road. I don't exactly want you going there. Oh well, not going to be much use to me there, but alright. The U.S. needs to be on the damn fence sooner rather than later. And some artillery's firing already, and that's 30-pound Parrots already firing. Kick out some skirmishers. We can slow them down while everybody else gets in line. Got here South Carolina Cadets Company B. So I couldn't remember the name of the South Carolina Academy a few episodes ago. It's the Citadel. Kind of pissed me off, and then someone reminded me in the comments which place it was. That marked right into me. Really? Okay. Alright, recall your skirmishers. We'll just turn the brigade. Oh, they're already getting ready to flee. 300 casualties already. Wow. 156 from their volley. That's not bad at all. Alright, push up the defense. And 3rd US is joining in. Getting closer. You boys. There's my cavalry division. They're making their way over. Very good. See if we can't bag most of this, most of Atchinson's corps like we did with Bragg's corps. Push forward on those cadets. There's this hall. They already had 300 casualties themselves. Toombs took 550 in that short exchange. Pushing in. Get closer. North Carolina Engineers. There you go. Hit them in the flank. Taking casualties in the sharpshooters. I don't need to be taken. Get on the damn fence. You know what? Just turn and face. Screw it. Our battery's firing. There's my cavalry. Keep coming, boys. Let's get you moving out to double. Gallop into position. Guys, advance at the double. Oh yeah, we're laying these boys low. We are not in a good place. Because it's all these batteries back here are firing also. And that's beautiful. Got them up to 1,800 casualties. I'm almost 400. All this short range firing. There goes the cadets. This is Battery I, 1st U.S. Artillery. Good canister shots in there. Yep, and there they go. They're retreating. Where's my cavalry? Oh, they only give me 12 minutes pursuit time. Really? There, get down here. Guys down here fast if you can't grab any of these boys up. The engineers are still standing there. Look at that pile of bodies. Just laid these boys low. 2,500 casualties out of their 7,500 man force. That's 33% of their men. Short little fight, but a major victory. Come on, catch some of these boys for me. Once again, their infantry's running faster than my cavalry can catch. Look at that crap. We're right on top of them. They're already outranged the cavalry. What the hell's going on there? No way these guys are running faster than the cavalry can catch them. That's it, at a time. Didn't really plus up the casualties, because once again, the infantry is running faster than the damn cavalry. That just doesn't make sense. I mean, fear gives men wings, but damn. It doesn't give these boys wings, it gives them rockets. Johnny Gadget in his rocket boots. Alright. So we took down 2,600 of their 7,500 man force. We lost 415 men. One of our guns, total loss of 427 men. I want to see how the sharpshooters did. I think they did most of the casualties. So, Army Command for 1st Corps, even though they were on range, were not involved in the battle because they were retreating away from Atchinson's Corps. Cavalry Division, how many men did they capture? Captured 74 men. Oish. Should have caught more than that. The 2nd Infantry Division did all the work here. So the 2nd Sharpshooters did 1,178 casualties to the infantry. 3rd U.S. did 762, 4th U.S. did 473, and the battery did 125. And the Artillery Division caused 11. Alright. Closed out of here. I think I should have taken less casualties than that off the bat, but that little bit of a roadblock kept my units from getting into position quickly enough. So the 1st U.S. sharpshooter should have, or correction, the 2nd U.S. sharpshooter should have been on that fence line before the rebels arrived, but they were not. But it is what it is. Things like that happen. Either in this game or in real life, stuff like that happens. So nothing to be done about it. So I do believe we're going to end this episode after we clear this battle off, and we'll just call this an administration episode with a skirmish, because that wasn't a battle, that was a skirmish. And the rebels should have never fought it. Alright, glorious victory at Blountsville Ferry. The enemies reportedly suffered total casualties of 2,615 men. There are 398 killed and 443 captured. Our casualties total 427 men, with 72 killed and 48 missing. We've captured 1,310 rifles, 0 guns from the battlefield, and sent 444 men off to our prison camps. Alright. Get this rolled off and continue our march towards Tallahassee, which is sidetracking us for our main mission. And Fort Brooke just surrendered. I expected that. There goes Atchison. And this will allow us to continue moving into Tallahassee. Once 2nd Corps gets to the position, I'll put them on defense. Now they're already on defensive stance. It looks like Atchison is coming back again. Oh, no, it's not. Let's get Tallahassee flipped, and then we'll move this along. There we go, we have Tallahassee. We now control Florida. only shows support of 4%. It should be higher than that with us controlling everything. Except for Fernandia because of Fort Clinch. We'll take care of Fort Clinch. Alright, it's now September. We really have not got much done. This is getting a little annoying. Our siege of Fort Pike is at a 56% chance of victory. It says up there, though. This power bar shows it all the way in our favor. So this and that are not matching. So we should have Fort Pike here and then at the next episode. And then we can continue marching on to New Orleans. Once we are inside New Orleans, I will start moving 11th Corps in the direction. I don't want to abandon Mobile because the two corps from the First Army should be over there right now, but we're stuck here in Florida. And this is, I'll admit, this is a swamp of my own making. By dropping 2nd Corps in Florida to take Fort Brooke, and it looked like I had an open opportunity to take everything with just 2nd Corps. But his morale's now at panic, so it is improving. So he has provisions, but no ammunition. And 1st Corps is determined, morale at 80%. And he has some provisions, but at least he has ammunition. Now we're looking up here. Always got to keep an eye on Western Virginia. And here they come again. Here they come again. Look at that. Here they come again. This will probably be another long battle. Oh, 2 to Corps too far away unless they're going to wait for them. Department of Norfolk's heading that way too. Did they clear out Northern Virginia? I think they might have cleared out Northern Virginia for this next battle. Let's give orders to 8th Corps to move a little closer. I can keep Marietta uncovered. But that'll be something for next episode. So we're going to end this one here, because I have a feeling that will be another long fight. So if you're a new viewer, returning viewer, you're not yet subscribed, please think about hitting that subscribe button. If you do, remember to hit that bell icon so alert when the next video comes out. If you like a brigade in one of my armies, please let me know in the comments below. Financial wise, I'm probably not going to be able to recruit more troops, but I can probably give you an existing unit in one of the corps that does not have a viewer unit in it yet. And comments, as always, please do keep them coming. I know this one was a little boring. It's basically called this an administration episode. And I will see you all at the next one. Stay grumpy.